Have you ever thought about what magnetism actually is? Because people throw around the phrase, the term magnetism, like it's something that you got to turn on when you want to get results, when you want to make more sales, attract more clients, be noticed by whoever it is that you want to be noticed by. But that is not real magnetism. That is a glamour. That is a trick. Magnetism's not a vibe that you have to conjure. It's not something that you have to manipulate people's perception in order to make them want you. It's not like an outfit that you need to put on whenever you want to get a result. Magnetism, true magnetism is a standard. It is a way of being. It's not something that you do, it's what you are. And if you want to experience yourself as the woman who moves through life effortlessly, attracting the things that you desire, you got to stop doing magnetism and embody it. Embody a magnetic woman. A magnetic woman or man doesn't try to be seen. You just assume you are. You assume that you always will be, that you always have been. And you don't chase, you don't prove, you don't convince. You set the standard of the fact that you are indeed the prize and let your world reflect that to you. Let everything around you shift to meet you there instead of using your world to tell you how magnetic you are. Okay, so if you've ever felt like you had to work to be magnetic or that it only works sometimes, this is really common in my audience. I did a workshop last year called Magnetic AF, and I sent out a RSVP where you answer some questions. And a lot of the questions or the answers that I got back, one of the question was on a scale from 1 to 10, how magnetic do you think you are? And a lot of people said in my regular life, I would say about an 8 or a 9, but in my business, about a 3 or a 4. Okay, so if that's you, then number one, that's not true. But number two, we're gonna break this down today so that you can move through this and make magnetism your baseline instead of something that you have to turn on or like put on in order to get the results that you want, okay? So I'm Astrid, and on this channel, we weave energy and strategy so that witches like you can blow up in your business. And the first thing about magnetism is that it's not about being liked. Okay, you might be like, that's obvious. It's not, yeah, obviously. But honestly, when you think about your magnetism, you immediately go to people like me, or I need to make people like me. And it's not about being liked, it's about being undeniable. The people who try to be liked are the people who get overlooked the most. If you ever notice that, like, when a person comes off as needy, you don't want to have anything to do with that. When a person who needs to be liked, hello, they're being needy, not liked, they're being needy. And so you just don't want to get caught up in that. You don't want to be the person that this person's whole fucking validation depends on. Okay? If you ever seen a person who just is in their power, just powerfully present, you see how they command attention. And maybe you've experienced this for yourself. When you're present, it's like all eyes on you. But when you're trying, it's like, why isn't anybody seeing me? Okay? Because magnetism isn't about pleasing people. It's about commanding your space with your presence, with your presence. And the way you command space with your presence is that you expect that your presence is palpable and that people thoroughly enjoy your presence. And so you never have to work for anything. You literally just be present because trying to be magnetic actually makes you less magnetic. Okay? Trying to be light, trying to be magnetic. We have to separate these two things and also take trying out of the equation completely. Because if you ever notice, like the second you try to be attractive or you try to film a video, it feels forced. Instead, another really good one. Okay, I was gonna say, let me finish that thought. Instead of trying to make the video, you actually can like look into the camera and be like, oh yeah, do you do this? Like whenever you make a reel or something, you turn on the camera and then all of a sudden it's like this robotic thing and you think you have to perform for people to like you. You tell this camera, the camera only ever amplifies my brilliance. It's its job. The camera's job is to amplify my brilliance. It is not something I need to be scared by. It's not weird that I'm talking to myself in my room in the middle of the night. None of that shit's weird. It's just amplifying my brilliance, right? And if that's still not working, or if it works fine, but you need a little extra, you can imagine that you're FaceTiming with your best friend and they just have their video off. Okay. But the other thing I was gonna say is if you have you ever come to during sex, like you just, oh, I am like way too conscious right now. Like you were just having a good time and then you suddenly became conscious of your body or something. And then you're trying to get back into it. And so you're like trying to be sexy and all of this. And you just don't. You feel derpy until you decide to get back into your body, until you pull your presence and your attention back into pleasure, not perception, not manipulating the other person's perception of you. That's when you can be doing the weirdest shit ever, and it's the sexiest thing in the world that that man has ever seen in his life, ever. And he wants you to do it again. Okay, magnetism works the same way. When you decide you're magnetic, it becomes who you are, that you're magnetic all the time, that you don't have to try to. It's just something that you are, and you know that you are. And that's when things start moving toward you. Everything and everyone wants to be in your presence because you are so deeply embodied in your pleasure, and everyone wants to be a part of amplifying that, or they want some of that. They're like, give me what she's having, right? So it's a standard that you set for yourself. It's not a feeling either. Okay. Most people think that magnetism is associated with feeling good or it's a feeling. You don't wake up every day feeling magnetic, but that doesn't mean that your magnetism stops. It's just your norm. You don't check anything against it. It's your assumption. It's your knowing. I was gonna say belief, but it's not even a belief. It's just what it is. A wealthy woman doesn't wake up in the morning and ask herself, "Do I feel wealthy today?" She just is. And magnetism works in the exact same way. You don't need to be in high energy or a high vibe state to be magnetic. Yeah, experiencing yourself in love and presence, it can amplify the more positive, more ideal qualities of your magnetism for sure, but it's not about how you feel, it's about who you are. And so, same could be true with, it being in a state of love that you just always are. So, even if you're feeling shitty or something, you're still able to love yourself or, love yourself through a hard time, a hard emotion, especially if you've got your period or something. Like, that's not who you are. You're not just grumpy all of a sudden. No, you just have your period. It passes. A lot of people also confuse power with their feelings. They think that right now I'm feeling lack, and that must mean I'm not powerful or I'm not magnetic to money because I'm feeling lack. Unless lack is your dominant state of operating from, then you're not, it's just a feeling. Baby, you just let it pass. You just let it pass. You remind yourself of who you actually are. You hold yourself in it and you let it pass. Okay? And when something is your standard, it never turns off. Okay? You make it your standard by knowing that who you are is magnetic. That you're a woman who always gets what she wants, that you are a woman who always has what she wants, that is in complete and utter perfection within herself. And that is magnetic as fuck. Okay. This is where a lot of people get this wrong, is also trying to be magnetic to everyone, to be appealing, to be palatable, to be safe. But real magnetism is polarizing. It makes the right people obsessed with you, and it makes the wrong people deeply uncomfortable. And that's exactly how it should be. Because if no one is repelled, then no one is fully in with you either. If no one's triggered, then no one is transformed. So if people, so I just like keep looking down here because my dog, I don't know what the fuck she's doing, but if some people don't like you, your magnetism is not broken. It's absolutely working. And who you are in your complete authenticity is always going to attract the people that you actually like being around. It's going to attract the things that you actually want to experience, not just the things that you think that you should have or that you think people would be proud or impressed by you being, having, or doing. And before you give any merit to a person liking you or not, stop. Okay? If you see someone talking shit about you online, stop. Whatever is going on, you need to stop and ask, do I even like them? Would I want to hang out with a person like that? Okay. Honestly, too, some people need to read their content on social media and ask, do I actually like the person that I'm talking to? Do I actually like the person that I'm talking to in my content? Okay, do that. Do that. Because some of y'all definitely do not like the person that you're talking to, and it shows. It comes off as judgmental, right? Even if you're feeling like, oh yeah, I'm just sassy and fiery today, and like, I'm just laying down the law, I'm just telling people how it is, right? Ask, do I really? You get the point, okay? So, the next thing is that your magnetism is already working. The real question is not if you're magnetic, it's what are you magnetic to? Mm, I had a point, and then it just kind of popped away. So that's okay. If you're attracting a bunch of unideal results, unideal people into your life, it's not random. It's because deep down, that has been your standard. That has become your expectation. That has become the thing that you've accepted as just the way it is, and then you settled for that. So you want to shift the standard, and your results will automatically shift. Not through like forcing it, not through trying harder, or even trying to fix anything, just by deciding this is who I am now. By refusing to tolerate, that was what it was that I was going to say. By refusing to tolerate anything less. And the only reason that you don't have exactly what you want right now is because you settled, because you tolerate less. And just because you settled and were settled 5 minutes ago doesn't mean that that's what it has to be right now. Just because you've been tolerating less than everything that you desire and require doesn't mean that you're doomed to tolerate or that you've got to work your way out of it. You don't have to force it. You simply decide. And this is something that you need to deal with immediately if you've been tolerating less. And set your standard to being magnetic as fuck to your deepest fulfillment. Set your standard to your true nature, to your authentic presence of just who the fuck you actually are. And know that that is, I mean, that's not even just enough. That's the only thing that's going to attract what you actually want to experience, the people that you actually want to be around, the people that will think that you are the shit, that you don't have to perform for, that you don't have to put on a show or like turn on, that you as you is on for them. They're like, this person right here is the coolest fucking person I've ever seen in my life. I love you so much. Because you're the most authentic person that they've ever seen in their life, and they are fucking starved for that. People are starved for authenticity. People crave that shit because we move around in this world of so much like niceties and just fake bullshit. So, magnetism, again, it's not a trick. It's not some glamour. It's not a spell you have to cast on other people so they will perceive you different. It is a standard, and the moment that you decide it is yours. It's yours. It's yours. If you knew how powerful your decision is, you would never doubt yourself again. Ever. The moment you decide that's who you are, that's who you are. And everything and anything that would come up within you, whether it's your inner world talking shit, or it's some external reflection showing you the opposite, everything that would come up to try and make you think that you're not magnetic, that is the lie. And so, yeah, that's a lot easier said than done. It does take practice, okay? No one's saying it doesn't take practice. And no one's saying that you have to get it perfect. These things are not things that you can journal into existence. They happen in your lived life experience. And so, yes, it's easier said than done. And that's why most people will never experience their true magnetism. So, I mean, if you are activated by something in this, even if you're like, yeah, but how? If this is a conversation that activates something in you, you will experience that. Keep following your curiosity around it. Suspend your disbelief and follow your curiosity all day, every day. All day, every day. And you will. You will experience yourself as magnetic. You have to keep choosing it until it's just who you are now. There's not going to be some, you know, macrocosmic event that happens to prove to you that you are magnetic or that you are worthy of everything that you want. You select it. Okay. So if this brought up any questions in you, if it stirred something up in you, and you're like, yeah, I know this logically, but how do I actually apply it? Or I know this logically and it's not working, or I'm doing this already and I'm not seeing the results that I'm seeing. And when I say these things, I don't mean this in a cynical way. Okay. If you're going, yeah, well, I already know this, and like, meh, 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 I'm not talking to you. Okay. You can know it somewhere else. That's great. For the people who are like, yeah, I am doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, and I just don't see what I'm missing. Like, I'm missing fucking something. Okay. Or something's just holding me back from, I know what to do. Something's holding me back from embodying it. You need to be in my world. I can say with 100% certainty that if I hadn't found the right support for me, I would still be hesitating, questioning myself, wondering if I was good enough, wondering if I was fucking annoying. I was so insecure, so fucking insecure. And I never stopped looking for a person that could actually hold the mirror up for me and reflect back my power. That is the difference maker. So you can come and join us inside the Rich Witch Society, where I just did a bomb ass training on Tuesday, breaking down one of the rulers of my system, which is the architecture of business consciousness. We did a deep dive of the Queen, which is one of the rulers of the magnetic tetrad. And all four of those rulers are the witch, the wild woman, the queen, and the seductress. We already did the rich witch and the queen. And we also go into how these relate to the core four most important elements of your business, which are energy, identity, messaging, and systems. And I go even deeper into those in the free series, The Cashflow Queen. And I'll add all of this stuff in the description and the pinned comment. And if you have a coaching or healing business and you really, really want your brain broken open when it comes to attracting your literal dream clients into your world, the kind that you fangirl over, the kind that make you go like, wait a second, you want me to help you? Okay. Then yes, you need to watch Catalyst. Oh my God. It's a two-part private series. It's about 45 minutes total. And this changes the way that you view messaging and client attraction forever. You cannot buy this. You have to DM me on Instagram to get it. So DM me Catalyst on Instagram at Astrid Coyote. That's it. I usually have like an XO, but I forgot to take that off. Astrid Coyote on Instagram. And I'll also put the link for that in the description and the pinned comment. So yeah, let me know what is your favorite takeaway from this episode today and how you're going to actually apply this into your life right now. And come join us inside the Rich Witch Society as well. Make an introduction and let's keep this conversation going. Anything that's coming up for you, bring it. I love going deeper into our members' questions and just pulling out all the gold and collapsing time and making magnetism your standard of living as your baseline forever. You get to be magnetic. You do. You do. You get to have that. I know that you know that you do. Okay. That's it for this episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.